Hey, good afternoon, church. I am so excited to be here on this Wednesday afternoon to share with you some exciting news about Novesta. After much prayer and trying to make sure that we're responsible, not reckless, after talking to many people, meeting as leaders, and even consulting with the local health authorities, we are excited that we are having the opportunity to open up the building this Sunday for church. And so I'm just excited to share that with you. I'm excited about the privilege and opportunity we're going to have to once again gather as the body. I want you to know that this decision was not reached recklessly or quickly. It was pondered over. It was prayed for, and we're taking some precautions to do our best to make sure that we're keeping you as safe and being as responsible as we can be in this situation. We realize that within our church, within our congregation, there's a lot of people that have different opinions and have different angles that they're looking at this situation from. Some of us have gone through a lot more than others have gone through within this situation, and there's not easy solutions. There's not a simple answer. And so here at Novesta, we've met and we've come up with a plan that we think is safe, that is healthy, that is right, and that the time is right for us to be able to begin this journey back to what we can do, and really I'd say not even back, but the journey to better. The journey to being more, the journey to our church continuing to love people well where they're at, but also to come back together again in person for worship with one another, to be side by side, lifting up our voices, turning to God's word, and seeking His hope, and learning that we can go be His help to the world around us. So things are going to look a little different than what they have been, and so I want to walk you through some of that. I got some notes here, so make sure that I don't miss any of the details, and I just want to explain how this is going to happen, what this is going to look like, and give you a little bit of information as to the hows and whats of what's going to happen temporarily until we get back to running more at a full service, full speed as far as a church. So we are hosting two services starting this Sunday, May 31st at 9 a.m. and at 11 a.m. So the first service will begin at 9 a.m. Second service is going to begin at 11 a.m. And we also are still going to really make online worship a priority. And at 10 a.m. we will have a full live streaming service for those that aren't comfortable yet to come to church. I do want to throw this out now because I might forget later, but maybe you're not ready to be in a room with 100 people, but you've got another family or a group of friends that you're like, I could invite them over to my house, or maybe we could get together and watch as a house party or do house worship together. I think that's a fantastic idea. So gather them up, maybe have some breakfast, maybe have some bacon and eggs waiting for everybody, and you meet at 9:30 and you tune in at 10 online for our worship. So that's what's going to happen starting this Sunday morning, 9 a.m. to 10 or to 9:50 is going to be first hour. At 10 a.m. we're going to start our live stream like we've been doing every week, and then at 11 a.m. we will have another live service here within the building on site. We are going to have some reduced capacity. We've already set up the auditorium, basically taken half of the chairs or a little more than half when we were really full set. So we have about 130-ish chairs set up in the auditorium, and along with some space in the foyer that gives us room to put about 150 people in each service at 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. We also are going to have the gym set up if we do have overflow to where we have 50 or 60 more places and spaces available in the gym, and Don's already excited if he gets that chance to be campus pastor of the gym. So he's pretty pumped about that. He's like, Brad, I'll be back there and I'll make sure everything works good as a campus pastor. I think he just wants a new title. For the next couple of weeks, we are going to be doing things a little bit differently when it comes to our kids ministry. We understand that the kids especially are really longing to get back and to have that opportunity to be with their teachers and to be with their friends. And just as we get this ball rolling, we want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to love them and protect them and serve them well. So for the first couple of weeks, we're not going to have a full kids ministry going on, but instead what we're going to do is we're going to offer a nursery for 0 to 3-year-olds, so up till 4 years old. Like if you're 4, you're too old, but if you're 0 to 3, we're going to set up the nursery and make that available. We're going to have teachers on hand. They're going to staff it. They're going to love them well, and we're going to do it that way. We're going to use our bigger rooms in the back to make that happen so that it's not close quarters in our nursery rooms as we get this started and begin. We're going to make sure that everything is cleaned super well. We're going to have a room set aside for the 0 to 1-year-olds where we'll have people in there taking care of the babies that aren't maybe as mobile and aren't as movable. And then in the other room we'll have our 1s and 2s and 3-year-olds in there that are being educated and loved with video on the screen with a lesson plan We're going to have a set of toys. It'll be a small set of toys available first hour that will then be removed, and the second set of toys will be made available in the second hour that we're in there at 11 a.m. So we're doing our best to do that. As we begin this journey back, I want to remind us of the words of Paul in Philippians when he said, your attitude should be the same as that of Christ Jesus. I understand that there are a lot of opinions, wide-ranging opinions on this matter. And one of the things that's been lacking on social media that cannot be lacking in our church is a spirit of humility and an attitude of servanthood. And so I'm asking for great respect for many. When it comes to the issue of masks and whether you need to wear a mask or not, we are not going to require you to wear a mask within the building. We invite you to wear them by all means. In fact, the health department, in speaking with them, strongly encourages us to wear masks, but we're not going to be the enforcement police on that. That's a decision that you can make. And so we're inviting you to wear them, but not requiring them of you. So if you're of the opinion that you don't want to be around those that are unmasked, realize there's going to be people here that aren't probably wearing masks. And you just need to be aware of that and in love, be respectful of that as we work through this time. Along those same lines, there is nothing more that I'm looking forward to than solid, firm handshakes and big, warm bear hugs. But I think we also need to be responsible and respectful during this time and realize that not everyone's on that page, not everyone's there yet, and that might just not be the best practice at this point. And so we're going to ask you to use good judgment and to maintain safe distance in this time. I know as brothers and sisters, it's hard to not want to do that. But if you need to, tape your hands behind your back or, do whatever it's going to take. My dad, who's having knee surgery, will be probably good for him because I don't know that he could resist missing out on some of those hugs. And, I'm looking forward to the high fives with the kiddos in a little while, but not yet. And so, again, being respectful and being a servant-minded to just realize that we should put the other people's needs first. I want you to know we're going to be doing a thorough cleaning of the building that's already begun today. And even during Sunday morning, every part of the building that is being used at 9 a.m. will be cleaned during the 10 a.m. hour. That's why there's space between the two services. It gives us a full hour to wipe down all the surfaces, to spray all the chairs, all the nurseries, all the bathrooms will be fully cleaned and cleansed. The doors, everything will be wiped down, cleaned off. Everything like that will be taken care of to make sure that we're providing the safest place and environment that is possible. Along those lines, we would welcome anyone that has big bottles of hand sanitizer, the gel kind at home, or if you have a bottle of spray Lysol that you have available that you'd be willing to donate to the church, if you have a box of wipes that you want to make available, we're accumulating those things. We have quite a bit on hand, but a big church uses a lot of those ingredients. And so if you want to donate them, you can certainly bring them Sunday, and we would gladly accept them as well. The services themselves are going to be a little bit shorter. They're going to be more in line with what we've been doing online in order, again, to give us the time to get people in, to get people out, to get things cleaned and get ready for the next. And so, our worship time is going to be a little bit shorter. Think more 45 to 50 minutes. That helps with some of the kids in the back. It helps with some of the kids in here, which, by the way, I know maybe as moms and dads, I know we got a lot of young families. Maybe you're nervous going, man, I got a first grader, and they are just not going to sit real well. There are welcome sounds in churches, and some of them are the fidgety kid, and some of them is the restless youngster, and I want you to know that I'm good with them being here, and I welcome them to come, and we're going to do our best to make it something that's engaging for them as well, and a part of something that they can be a part of. So I hope that you'll consider that. So just to let you know a little bit of what we've done or some changes that are going to be happening in terms of what it's going to feel like. One of the things that we were encouraged to do, one of the things that I looked at was a touchless service. Okay, and so what do we mean when we say touchless service? Well, what we want to do is provide an opportunity for you to be able to come in and not have to have your hands where other people's hands have been. It's a touchless opportunity. So a couple things we're going to do. All the doors are going to be propped open. The whole time, the doors will be propped open. That allows you to walk in and walk out without the doors being moved. If we need to move them for wind, for rain, we will have people at the doors, again, not to shake hands, but more to welcome you, to be the ones that are doing the doors so you don't have to touch them. We're not going to be doing bulletins or newsletters for the first few weeks so that there's not a paper exchange that we're doing. Offering is going to be available, but instead of passing trays or plates, it's going to be a box set up in the foyer, and we encourage you to continue to give online in that way so that there's not the exchange that way. We are going to be participating in communion. But again, instead of passing the trays, we're going to have communion set up in the four corners of the room in individual cups, and make a time available where you can come so that you're not touching someone else's cup, that you're not touching a tray that's been touched by someone else, that type of thing. We want to encourage families as much as possible to sit together within the room. That's going to help us leave space for others. Even though I know you've been with your husband or your wife for a long time and you're probably sick of them, if you can put up with them for a little bit longer in church, it'd be real nice if you guys sit together to help us fill in the space more fully. We want to encourage you to fellowship. One of the benefits of being together as a body is being able to catch up with old friends and brothers and sisters in Christ. But we're going to invite you to do that outside in the parking lot or under the pavilion as much as possible, to find big spaces and not confined quarters. We've got a really narrow hallway that is not very conducive to conversations when you're supposed to be social distancing. And so as much as we can, the bigger areas, the wider spaces, the open doors are where we want you to go and congregate, not within the rooms as we try to clean and get ready to do that. If you need to use the bathroom, certainly the bathrooms are going to be open, but we're going to encourage you, try to remember to go to the bathroom before you come. Try to hold it till you go. That cuts down again on the transmission, on the body-to-body contact, that type of thing of what's going on. And unfortunately, we're not going to have donuts or coffee or any kind of food for a little while. Again, just the transactionless process, right? We're not trying to put people in places where germs are going to be shared. By all means, we want to communicate to you that if you are a part of the vulnerable population, or if you feel unsure about coming to church, this is not us telling you you need to be in this building. We want you to know that we value you and respect you, and we understand that this is not a Jesus decision about whether you're ready to come to a building or not. We know that there are faithful people who are just not ready to come into a building, and there are faithful people who are ready to come into a building. And so if you're vulnerable, we want to invite you to stay home, to worship online, to continue in that way, in that area. But at the end of the day, we're going to do our part to keep this as clean and safe, as responsible as we can. But this is going to be a personal decision of someone choosing to come, realizing that we can't mitigate all risk, that we can't remove all variables, and we can't control people and their behaviors. And so there's a risk associated with that. And I don't say that to scare anyone, but just to be honest, that we're going to do our part. We're going to do everything we can to make this a clean environment. But again, it's a personal decision that you're making. And by all means, we invite you to stay home if you don't feel safe or comfortable yet at this time. As leaders, we're going to continue to stay on top of this situation on a weekly basis, and that means we're going to be meeting. For now, the rest of the building is still going to be closed. We're not going to be hosting other groups or activities or events. The gym's not open for basketball. We don't want a lot of people in and out of the building. There's just a whole lot of cleanliness things that goes into that, and we're evaluating that as we go forward. We hope that in the near future, we're able to continue opening up more and more opportunities as we're given a chance and opportunity to do that. At the end of the day, as I wrap this message up and as I hopefully encourage you about this, I cannot wait to be back together in worship. I'm excited about what that's going to be, about what we're going to do, but here's what I know. I know we need to come together in love. I know there are still differences of opinions. I still know there's many hurdles to climb. I still know there's a chance that information changes, whether it's something that happens here locally or something that happens out wide, and we've got to remain flexible and we've got to remain adaptable. We've got to have, again, that attitude of humility that says we're going to put other people's needs first. And here's what I think, church. I think that whether we are in this building on Sunday morning or whether we are at homes on Sunday mornings, if you and I will stay hopeful in the love and the hope of Jesus Christ, and if we will stay helpful, caring for our community and our neighbors, we will continue to share His light and to spread His kingdom and to extend His grace. And that's what I want for us as a church. I am looking forward to seeing you on Sunday. Hopefully I answered most of the questions. We tried to go through and make sure we had everything covered. If you have any questions, please let us know. We are looking forward to being together and, again, in love. Please be in prayer for us, and we look forward to seeing you. Have a super awesome, amazing day. Love y'all. You know it. Peace out. Deuces.